Alright, what's up guys? We're back with another video. Today, talking about doctrines, specifically mass assault, and is it bad? And I think it is pretty bad, not gonna lie. I think compared to doctrines like superior firepower and mobile warfare, you know, I think probably 99 times out of 100, superior firepower is better than mass assault and mobile warfare. Probably about 70 times out of 100 is better than mass assault. I can see a reason why mass assault could be better than mobile warfare, but superior firepower is still, and has been for a while, the best doctrine in the game. Um, but Grand Battle Plan, I guess mass assault is kind of close to Grand Battle Plan. Even still, I would much rather take Grand Battle Plan over mass assault because of modifiers like the 25% land night attack, which is basically like 25% attack, but for only half the day, which is still pretty good. And stuff like the org and the max planning. That's why I think Grand Battle Plan is still better than mass assault. Um, Now, the first issue I have with mass assault is the stats. You don't get any attack bonuses, like straight up attack bonuses through mass assault. Now, you don't really get any through mobile warfare either, but you get so much org in mobile warfare for your tanks and so much breakthrough and division speed that it almost feels like you gain stats because you can add a lot more tanks to your template and your tanks deorg a lot slower because you have a lot more breakthrough. But in mass assault, you don't get any breakthrough. What you do get is a lot of org, uh, but nothing really directed towards tanks unless you go down deep battle, and even then, there's not really a point to because mobile warfare is so much better for tanks. Even superior firepower is a lot better than tanks than deep battle. Deep battle just doesn't really have a purpose, especially in vanilla. 10% supply consumption is not really good, and that's probably the best modifier than this whole doctrine. Well, the max planning is all right too. But yeah, just going over what superior firepower gives attack bonuses to. You get 10% battalion soft attack from this. You get 50% support company soft attack from these two right here. There's no reason really to go here. This is honestly not very good. You should always go with this one because if you can put two artillery, you can put rocket arty and regular arty as a support company, and you can get 50% more attack on that, which means you're going to be getting probably 100 plus attack from your support companies by the time it hits like 41, 42. And then down here, you have the option to either get 10% soft attack for tanks, 10% hard attack for tanks, and 10% hard attack for just battalions going down airland battle. Or you can get 5% soft attack on all battalions, 10% arty support and line attack, and 10% like infantry, motorized, and mech battalion soft attack too. Compared to mass assault, where you get 0 soft attack or hard attack bonuses. Uh, Even in Grand Battle Plan, you get a little bit of soft attack. But mass assault's the only doctrine that gives you none. I think even, well, to be fair, mobile warfare doesn't give you either, which who knows, maybe I should make a video on mobile warfare. Even though it's not a bad doctrine, actually. If you've actually used the doctrine, you know it's pretty powerful because you can make tanks with barely any mech in them. They're still really good. Now let's just go, tech by tech down mass assault, and at the end of the video I'll show you a stat comparison between superior firepower, grand battle plan, and mass assault and mobile warfare on an infantry division and tanks. So mass assault's first tech, you get 2% reinforce rate, that's all right. That's equal to the first radio tech, which is pretty all right. I think Paradox should probably buff mass assault, probably make this 5%, though. That could create situations where stuff gets really memey. I could see Russia, if they can get, because there's more reinforcement rate buffs. I could see them having so much reinforcement rate and having like just inf bricks across the river and constantly reinforcing. So I get why they didn't make it higher. Minimum training level minus 10%, not really that useful. I mean, it's nice. Waiting for divisions to train is never really fun, but there's always ways to get around that. You could always, train at two widths, deploy that early and convert it, and then you basically got around that. You can just train it in the field if you need to. Weekly war support combat casualties plus +0.1. That's it's okay. I don't think it's that good because you don't get that in peacetime because it's from combat casualties. And if you're actually at war, you can get that same modifier in your decisions, and you can get other modifiers too. And I feel like by the time you get to war, most people have a ton of PP laying around, so it's not really that useful. So yeah, the first tech, not really too impressive. The second tech is non-combat out of supply penalties -10%. That's all. That's pretty good. Supply consumption -10% would have been a lot nicer, but that's coming up eventually, and I get on one of these. And I understand why, you can't just have all the best modifiers right away. But compared to something like superior firepower, where you get 10% soft attack from the first tech, that's just so much more powerful than this. And it's honestly the most powerful first tech in the game. This might be more powerful if you have light tanks early on that you're using, but I would say superior firepower is a really powerful first doctrine. And supply grace plus 48 hours. That's pretty good if you're using Marines, but the issue is, or if you get encircled, but the issue is if you get encircled or you're using Marines, you probably don't have the stats to actually break those divisions out if you go mass assault. That's a big issue. I'm not sure where the supply grace really comes in handy unless you're getting encircled. In which that case, I mean, the division's probably going to die anyways because you're not going to have stats to break it out. The next tech is defense in depth, and that just gives your leg infantry organ max entrenchment. Now the +5 max entrenchment is pretty good, and the org is all right as well. I don't really have any complaints there. It's a pretty decent tech, but still nothing offensive. But I think there's not much more I can complain about that. That's just how this doctrine is. Next up is the People's Army going down mass mob, and then I'll go back to deep battle after that. Now the People's Army gives you a new tactic, and later down this doctrine, we'll be getting an even better tactic. We get mass charge, which increases the combat width, and 10% attacker tactic damage plus 10% defender tactic damage, which is it's whatever. It's a pretty okay tactic. Tactics aren't a huge part of the game. They're useful, and I'll show you one that's actually pretty good later on. And there's a couple ones down the Blitzkrieg doctrine that are really good, but generally, tactics don't make a huge difference unless you have like no recon and your opponent has like 4 recon, like armored car recon, then you're probably in trouble. -10% division attrition. That's actually not as great as it seems. Now that stat doesn't really work like you might think. You might think if you had 12% attrition, now it goes down to 2. It doesn't really work like that. It's kind of a broken stat. Um, it says how much damage our divisions take from attrition when traversing. I'm pretty sure that just means your equipment loss. But even that, it just doesn't really work that useful. A better stat here, I think, would be the -10% supply consumption, because that works how you think it will work. You take 10% less supply. This division attrition -10% doesn't really do much. And the other one is damage to enemy garrisons in our state plus 10%. That's all right, but collabs are just way too popular now, and everyone uses collabs now. That it's just not really that good. Now let's go to the next tech here. Infantry offensive, and that gives you recovery rate plus 0.3 and reinforced rate +5. That's pretty good. Just not really that spectacular. I'll try to get through these a bit quicker than I have been, because honestly, there's not much to say about a lot of them. This tech right here, it's all right. You get some org. Still just not really useful. Now this tech is one of the better ones. Now these last two techs on mass mob are what make what save it from being absolutely terrible. And this you get 5% recruitable population, and it also shrinks your infantry combat width from 1 to 0.4, which is pretty good. It has 15% reinforce rate. This is very useful on China. When I said 99 times out of 100 superior firepower is better, the one time is on China because you know you're going to be getting a lot of XP from Japan grinding against you, so you're going to be able to get down these doctrines quite quick. And then the next one, which is the really powerful one, is guerrilla warfare, which most of these stats don't really matter. The non-combat out of supply panel, that's good, but it's really whatever at this point. By the time you get this doctrine, Japan's going to be having divisions that completely outstat you, and it doesn't really matter. What you want is the guerrilla tactic, which shrinks the combat width by half and takes off 70% attacker tactic damage. So your opponents are going to be doing 70% less attack. And that's, if they have a tactic that lowers their attack as well, that's even less attack. And defender tactic damage, -60. So you get actually a slight attack advantage here, though you're not going to be outstatting them anyways on mass mob. But anyway, this is what will win you battles on mass assault, win you defensive battles. You won't. It only works on defense. But that's why people actually do this doctrine, is for this guerrilla tactics. Now, deep battle, I'm not going to go down this whole deep battle thing because it's just worse in every way than mobile warfare. It's supposed to be for tanks and mech, but mech divisions aren't good. They really aren't. The defense is good, but they're just not. They're too expensive and they're not really good attacking. You get the same infantry combat with, you get the supply consumption, and you just get a little bit more stuff for tanks. Like 10% breakthrough, some recovery rate, and some org. Nothing too amazing. Some org loss when moving. Now that's actually quite good, and the backhand blow tactic is quite good for tanks as well. On the defense, though, even though tanks really aren't that great on the defense. But the org loss when moving -25% is good. But the issue is the org loss when moving, if you're on deep battle, is probably going to be in the wrong way, probably towards your capital instead of your opponent's capital, because you're probably going to be getting clicked instead of you clicking, because you're going to have no stats going down deep battle. And that just concludes the basic review of the doctrine. And now I'll show you a little comparison. So this is with only the first tech of superior firepower, because that's what the US starts with. I'll actually quickly research all of it, just to show you the difference in infantry. So with all superior firepower research, and I can show you the tech real quick too. We have support company 2's gun 2, RD2, a couple upgrades. We have up to the 41 tech in RD. We have radios, doesn't really matter. We have a couple tanks and stuff too. So yeah, you get 270. So you get about 70 more soft attack from going down superior firepower, which is a pretty big difference. And the org is really good on this division too. The defense is not bad. The stats are pretty good on this division. Now, if I swap now to mass mode, we'll see a big change in that. We're probably gonna be down to the starting stats we were at. We're actually lower because we had the first. When I clicked on the division before I researched the doctrine, we had the first superior power tech. So we actually lost over 70 soft attack and 10 org from going superior firepower. But you might have noticed that our combat width is lower now, so we can actually add more infantry to our template, which can bring us up to about 221 soft attack and 44 org. But we still lose org, and we still lose about 50 soft attack at the end of the day. And we actually have to put more IC into this division now because we have to put 2 more inf battalions. It's only about 116 IC, which isn't a big deal, but still. Now I'll show you the tank template now with superior firepower first, and then mass assault, deep battle after. Now the tank on Airland Battle has 34 org, 600 soft attack, 338 hard attack, 526 breakthrough, 65 piercing, 203 HP. It's a pretty decent tank, you know. I don't have the best tanks. I don't have any tank destroyers in here, but for the example, it will work. Now, if we swap that over to deep battle, I expect to lose a lot of stats here. Yeah, we lost over 110 soft attack and about 50 hard attack. We also did lose about 2 org, but we did gain about 4 breakthrough, which is absolutely nothing compared to the amount of soft attack and hard attack we lost. Now, is getting some org loss while moving worth it for losing 2 org and a ton of stats? Absolutely not. Because if you saw that other tank and then you go back to here, I can't rewind. You guys can rewind. You can compare the stats. You would see that this tank will probably not beat the other tank in a battle. That other tank on superior firepower would absolutely obliterate this tank in a matter of seconds. And that's just a quick video. This is pretty much concludes the whole video. Is mass assault bad? Yeah, it's pretty bad. If you're a beginner, or even if you're not, I would recommend sticking to the left side of the doctrines. You know, mobile warfare or superior firepower. Superior firepower, right? You always want to do this right one. This one's rarely ever good, if ever. And if you're doing tanks, you can go left, and if you're doing infantry like Marines, you can go right. Mass assault, though, there's just not really a purpose unless you're China or you're Russia and you're doing some sort of weird build. But even then, most Russia players do mobile warfare, superior firepower. Grand Battle Plan 2, I think I might make a video in the future covering Grand Battle Plan. But yeah, that concludes the video. Thank you for watching. I appreciate all the views I've been getting recently. Yeah, have a good one.